So would you like to start by asking me your first question? And we have not prepared answers for these questions. We don't know what we're going to ask one another.
Yeah. Well, I know what I'm going to ask you, but it scares me the thought that what you might ask me. Anyway, so my first question is for Peter. What made you decide to write a book now when when other people have been saying all along you should be writing a book, you should write a book, you should write a book. And so what made you decide now, and when did you finally come with the idea of a story?
Okay, so what you were trying to say delicately is you've been telling me for years to write, that I should be writing a novel. And what,
not just me, other people too.
And what made me finally in the last couple of years knuckle down and actually do something?
Yeah.
So what happened in the last couple of years, we moved out to the Lakehouse where there are fewer distractions and fewer things taking up our time outside of the house. Also, one of the things that happened is that I joined as a patron Amanda Palmer's Patreon.
Yes.
I found Amanda Palmer thanks to our good friend Nat, and I found this huge community of creative people, painters, authors, poets, musicians, all of these people who are doing fantastic art all around the world. And the other thing about that community is they are incredibly supportive of one another, and any artistic or intellectual or humanitarian effort that anybody attempts, they're constantly reassuring one another and supporting one another, not just with words, like with actual dollars and such. So I decided, after being a patron to Amanda Palmer for about 5 or 6 months, I decided I've been starting to write this novel. I do some other storytelling, and I've got a couple of games that I'm trying to design. I'm going to try being a creator on Patreon too. So it was last October 2016, I made that leap to join Patreon as a creator and accept patronage for my writing. And when I did that, that provided the external motivation that I needed to be more dedicated, more diligent, and organized to keep writing and keep producing chapters month after month after month. And it worked. And now I've done the first draft of my first novel. So that's really a really long answer to your very simple question.
I don't think it was a simple question. I think it took a lot for you to come to that decision to finally sit down and write, because every time you do something creative, and I'm talking the greater you, I'm not talking about you specifically. Mm-hmm. I mean, that could be me too. When you do something creative, it becomes part of yourself, and when you put a part of yourself out on display like that, yeah, you become very protective, and maybe you don't want to share it with everyone.
Okay, let's put a pin in that, because I have to ask you a question now.